Not Hollywood, not K-drama, yet 191 countries and territories exploded. What did Mile and Oppo unleash? Two men, one story, one love that shook the world. This is not just a drama, it's history, written before our eyes. Stay with us because the secret behind Mile Oppo's rise will surprise you. And don't forget to subscribe, your support keeps these stories alive. What could make the whole world stop, look back and fall in love with two Thai boys? What power could make a single TV series, a single couple, shake up not only a local industry, but also a world of audiences? That is the story of Mile and Oppo. But to understand why their names resonate across continents today, we have to start from the moment when no one knew they would meet. Before 2022, Thai entertainment was thriving with color, music, and drama. Hit movies dominated the screen. Actors became household names. However, one genre remained quietly in the shadows: boys' love. Beloved by loyal fans, but overlooked by the mainstream for being too small, too narrow. A world full of promise, waiting for someone to prove it worthy of standing on the biggest stage. The two men, at the time, were not household names, not global icons, just individuals walking separate paths. Oppo, with his piercing gaze and natural charm, had been in the spotlight. He had tasted recognition. And then, almost without warning, he walked away. He disappeared from the stage that once held him. Many thought it was forever, that his story in the entertainment industry was over. Imagine carrying that burden, knowing what it felt like to shine, then choosing silence. How many of you have ever given up on something you loved? Let me know in the comments if you have ever left a dream behind and wondered if life would ever let you back in. On the other side was Mile. Born into luxury, yes, but comfort does not guarantee meaning. He could have chosen an easy path, and yet he chose art. His rise was not swift, his fame was not great. He walked patiently, almost deliberately, as if he were saving himself for something greater. While others rushed for fame, Mile learned. He waited. He carried within him the quiet strength of a man who knew his time had not yet come. And that patience, that steady walk in the shadows, would become his greatest weapon. Two men, two paths. One steps out of the spotlight, the other cautiously steps in. Neither knows that fate is quietly intertwining their destinies. One day, their names will no longer be separate. One day, the world will call Mile Oppo as if it were a single name, a single heartbeat. Fate is strange, isn't it? It hides until the perfect moment arrives. Oppo's departure seems like an end, but it's actually a pause. A gathering of strength before returning. Mile's patience looks like hesitation, but it's actually preparation, waiting for a role worthy of his presence. And when these two journeys finally intersect, the result is more than a play. It's a cultural moment. But wait, before the roar of the crowd, before the hashtags lit up, before their faces were splashed across international headlines, there was only silence. Oppo, lurking in the shadows of the dream he had once abandoned. Mile, patiently laying brick by brick a foundation invisible to the world. And in that silence, fate began to write the first chapter of their story. Do you believe in fate? Do you believe that the universe has a way of putting people exactly where they should be, even when it feels like everything is falling apart? If you do, write yes in the comments. If you don't, tell me why, because this is one of those stories that will make you think. Think about it. If Oppo had never left, would his return have sparked such a burning passion? If Mile had chased every opportunity so quickly, would he have had the depth, the quiet strength that fans would one day appreciate? Timing is everything. Destiny is never in a hurry. It waits, patiently, carefully, until the right moment comes. That's what makes this start so poignant. Long before the world knew their names, they were simply two men living ordinary lives. Oppo, wondering if he still had a place in the industry. Mile, quietly searching for a role that would express his true self. Neither could have foreseen what would happen, but their meeting was inevitable. And when their paths finally crossed, it not only changed them, it reshaped the future of boys' love forever. Can you feel it? The quiet tension before the storm, the buzz in the air before history changes? Because that's exactly where we are in this story. The threshold, the moment right before the spark ignites. And when ignites, it will light up not just a show, not just a couple, but a movement. Follow me, because in the next part, we'll step into the project that brought them together. The role that transformed two separate lives into one unforgettable duo. The show that took boys' love from a small series to a global phenomenon. And trust me, you'll want to see how it all began. Before you continue, ask yourself, what do you feel in this first? Hope, excitement, or nostalgia for a time of change? Share below, because this story is not just about them. It's about fate, timing, and the courage to face the unknown. There are moments in entertainment history when the screen becomes more than just a screen, when it becomes a window into ambition, struggle, and transformation. For Thailand's boys' love industry, that moment came in 2022 with KinPorsche. And hidden within it are two names the world will forever remember. Mile. But before the fame, before the world recognized them, there was only uncertainty. The casting process for KinPorsche was notorious, long, unpredictable, sometimes even chaotic. Actors came and went, scripts were rewritten, entire production teams changed, rumors spread. Will this project ever happen? Now imagine walking into that room as an actor. Would you take the risk or walk away? What would you choose if you were in Miles or Apo's shoes? Mile Fakfum and Apo Nadawin never gave up. They persevered, believing in something invisible, the belief that this story could overcome all obstacles. And when they finally stepped into the shoes of Kin, the heir to power, and Porsche, the bodyguard drawn into his world, it wasn't just a choice. It was destiny unfolding before our eyes. This is what made KinPorsche. For years, boys' love dramas had been mostly light romances, school romances, sweet encounters, slice-of-life charms. But this, it was different. It was like fire and gasoline. The story combined mafia crime with raw intimacy, betrayal with tenderness, bullets with stolen glances. It wasn't just about two men falling in love. It's about survival, trust, strength, vulnerability, and how love can flourish even in the darkest corners of chaos. Close your eyes and imagine. Neon lights glistening on rain-soaked streets, gunshots echoing through warehouses, silence broken only by the sound of heartbeats. And in that silence, two men looking at each other, knowing they've crossed an irreversible line. Isn't that a moment that makes you forget about the definitions of love, action, romance, and simply experience pure cinema? Isn't that how the KinPorsche evokes in you? But perhaps the real surprise wasn't the story, but the reaction. The moment KinPorsche debuted, the world not only watched, it exploded. Overnight, it took the #1 spot on the trending list in 191 regions. Think about it. 191 regions. It was as if the whole world lit up at once. And then Twitter came along. Every night of the broadcast became a global event. Hashtags quickly climbed to the top of global trends in minutes. Fan accounts translated the lines in real time. Memes, photoshopped images, fan cams flooded the internet. Imagine New York at 3 a.m., Paris at midnight, São Paulo in the afternoon, Manila at night, all connected by the same storyline, the same power source, the same Mile and Apo. Let me ask you, where were you watching when it all started? Were you glued to Twitter, refreshing every time there was a new story? Or were you the one flooding your timeline with screenshots? Share that memory, because I guarantee thousands of people watching this video will be just as excited as you are. But beyond the charts and hashtags, something deeper is happening. perceptions are changing. For years, many outside of Thailand considered boys' love a niche genre, small, even frivolous. Kinpor shattered that perception completely, leaving no boundaries. Suddenly, international audiences who had never been exposed to the genre were hooked. Critics were no longer calling it boys' love, but a Thai action film with a love story. And for the first time, the conversation wasn't just about labels, it was about art. And maybe you felt it too. A sense that Thailand had just stepped onto the global stage in a whole new way. Has Kinpor changed the way you think about Thai storytelling? Has it expanded your conception of what boys' love or even television itself can be? Because let's be honest, this isn't just a drama, it's a gateway. A gateway for Mile and Apo to become global icons. A gateway for Thai cinema to demand recognition far beyond its borders. A gateway for boys' love as a genre to be on par with any other form of world-class storytelling. And if that sounds dramatic, remember this. When a series causes the world to rethink an entire industry, it's not an exaggeration, it's history. Mile and Apo have done more than weather a casting storm. They've done more than lead a mafia romance. They've sparked a cultural shift that's captured global attention. And the truth is, this is just the beginning. Stay with me, because next we'll explore how this explosion reshaped not only their careers, but the lives of the fans who saw themselves reflected in Mile and Apo. When it comes to Mile and Apo, the spotlight almost always falls on Kinpor the series, the lightning bolt that catapulted them onto the world stage. But the real magic, the reason their names resonate around the world, lies off-screen. It lies in the spontaneous moments that no script can capture. Think of a fan meeting in Bangkok or Manila. Thousands of fans, hearts pounding, phones raised, waiting for just one smile, one look. And then it happens. Mile looks at Apo, not with the fierceness of a mafia heir in a TV series, but with the warmth of a trusted companion. Apo returns the smile, a smile that hits you right in the chest. In that moment, you can almost feel the heartbeat of the crowd. No dialogue, no carefully choreographed dance moves. Just a genuine, raw, natural chemistry that has people whispering, "Is this more than acting?" Tell me, when you watch them together, do you feel the same attraction? Do you believe there is a bond that goes beyond the screen? Western media certainly thinks so. Reputable outlets have dubbed them the power couple of Thai romance. The title is not given lightly. It signals something extraordinary. Two men from a regional industry achieving a recognition previously reserved for Hollywood couples. Isn't it amazing that Thai actors representing Southeast Asia are now shaping global conversations about love, performance, and storytelling? And here's my question to you. Where are you watching? Are you in Asia, surrounded by the heart of this phenomenon, or perhaps in Europe, America, or Africa, witnessing this wave from afar? Isn't it incredible that no matter where we are, their stories still find their way to us? These aren't just headlines. They're people, fans like you, building something bigger than any show. The Mile Apo fandom isn't a small community. It's a global family. One fan in Brazil live streams their interviews in the middle of the night, while another in South Korea designs artwork inspired by them. Across oceans and languages, strangers connect through the joy they create. Why are their stories so relatable? Maybe it's because love, respect, and honesty are things we all crave, no matter where we are. Their close relationship with their fans is perhaps the real secret to their enduring appeal. In a world where celebrities often feel distant, Mile and Apo choose to be close. They wave heartily, look fans in the eye, listen, laugh, and make even the back row feel included. If you've ever been treated like a friend by a celebrity, you know that feeling. It stays with you. It changes you. Have you felt it? How did it shape the way you viewed them afterward? What makes them special isn't the flashy gestures, but the quiet ones. Apo stopping to thank a fan, Miles stepping closer so no one feels left out. These moments say more than any headline. We don't just want you to watch us, we want you to be with us. That's why fans don't just admire them, they trust them. And in this industry, trust is rare. Perhaps the most fascinating thing is the intersection of fiction and reality. Kin and Porsche were scripted, but the relationship between Mile and Apo was written with something deeper. That's why fans keep studying their smiles, their glances, their every conversation, not for gossip, but to find the truth in a connection too genuine to ignore. And perhaps that's why their impact remains so enduring. They don't just tell us a story, they leave us with unanswered questions. When you think of Mile and Apo, do you think of them as actors, icons, or companions who light up your world? However you look at them, one thing remains the same. Their sincerity and emotional bond have touched hearts from Bangkok to Berlin, from Manila to Mexico City. This is more than a fan base. It's a wave that's redefining what it means to be a global star. In the next, we'll follow Mile and Apo as they take to the world stage, from Dior to Cannes, proving that their story is about more than just boys' love. It's about crossing borders, shaping cultures, and bringing love to the world. There are moments in history when art and culture cross boundaries, when two individuals emerge and change an entire industry. For Mile and Apo, that turning point came when they moved beyond the Thai entertainment industry and onto the global stage, first with Dior, then at Cannes. It wasn't just recognition, this was transformation. Picture Paris Fashion Week, the lights flashing, the world's most famous designers unveiling their visions. Then, amid the models and celebrities, two Thai actors stepped forward, not just as guests, but as Dior ambassadors. The symbolism was impressive. Dior was not just dressing them, it was declaring that elegance, power, and class could shine from Thailand. Their presence lit up the front row, their confidence was noted by Vogue and GQ, their influence was undeniable. Think about it. When you first saw them in head-to-toe Dior, what went through your mind? Did you feel proud, as if your culture was finally being recognized on a stage usually reserved for Western icons? Or did you feel excited, imagining the boundaries being broken in fashion and entertainment? Tell me, I want to know how you felt in that moment. But Paris was just the beginning. The real turning point came in 2023 with Monswang, an epic of intrigue, opulence, and Siamese political turmoil. It required more than presence, it required depth. And Mile and Apo delivered. Their performances were subtle, powerful, and layered, putting to rest any doubts and showing both critics and audiences that they were not bound to any genre. They weren't just boys' love actors, they were actors in the truest sense of the word. This wasn't a fad, this was art. And then Cannes came. Imagine, at the Palais des Festivals, the world's most glamorous red carpet. Global superstars lined the steps, flashbulbs lighting up the night sky. And suddenly, there they were. Mile and Apo, draped in elegance, walking together with the grace of men who know they're more than just themselves. That night, they weren't just actors attending a premiere. They were cultural ambassadors. For Thailand, it was history. To see two men from boys' love backgrounds, often overlooked or underappreciated, now proudly strut their stuff on the most prestigious stage in cinema, it was more than glamour. It was recognition. Recognition for Thai cinema, for boys' love stories, for fans who believe their stars deserve to be seen. When you saw the images of Mile and Apo at Cannes, how did you react? Did your heart race? Did you screenshot it immediately to share with your friends? Or did you pause, realizing you were witnessing a shift in how the world views Asian talent? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Their journey from Dior to Cannes shows us something at its core. Their rise to fame is no accident. It's deliberate. Every step is a choice to elevate themselves, to prove that they deserve to be in the world's most prestigious arenas. And in doing so, they break the mold that others try to impose on them. They are not defined by a genre. They are defined by talent. Now let me ask you, where are you watching from? Are you in Asia, smiling proudly? In Europe, admiring their fashion dominance? Discovering them for the first time in the US? Leave your country in the comments, because just as Mile and Apo crossed oceans, our community here is global. Their journey reminds us that true influence comes from authenticity. Step onto the stage with pride in yourself, and the world will be mesmerized. With Mile and Apo, Dior opened the gates, Cannes raised the stage, and together they turned these milestones into something greater than individual triumphs. They have become symbols of Thai art, of the presence of boys' love, and of all the fans who believe that love in all its forms deserves to shine. What does representation mean to you? When you see Mile and Apo standing tall on stages once thought unreachable, does it change the way you dream? Does it remind you that talent and authenticity can break down barriers? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And stay with me, because next we'll see how Mile and Apo are turning success into impact, using their voices to inspire, uplift, and shape a future where Asian stories don't just shine on screens, they change communities. Impact isn't always defined by titles or numbers. It's often revealed through quiet cultural shifts, in the way millions of people start to see love in new ways, in the way fans around the world suddenly feel connected by a single story. That's where Mile Apo's true impact lies. They're no longer just the main characters in a Thai drama. They've become a global force, taking boys' love from an obscure genre to a global phenomenon. Ask yourself, how many actors in your life have reshaped the way an entire culture understands love, expression, and identity? Previously, boys' love dramas have quietly lurked in the dark corners of the internet, cherished by small communities that found themselves in those stories. But with Mile and Apo, the whispers have turned into cheers. Kin Porsche has become a megaphone, carrying their voices around the world. Their chemistry is more than just charming, it's undeniable. And now, it's not just Thai fans who are celebrating, it's audiences in Latin America, the Middle East, Europe, and the United States. Who could have imagined a Thai drama would dominate global charts, inspiring people across continents to create art and even learn Thai, just to feel closer to Mile and Apo? At the heart of this global movement lies a simple truth. Love is love. Not a slogan, but a lifeline. For LGBTQ+ fans, Mile and Apo are more than actors. They're proof that their stories can be told with power and beauty. Watching Kin and Porsche is more than entertainment, it's validation. For many, it's the first time they felt seen and celebrated on the world stage. So let me ask you, do their stories make you more hopeful about love and freedom? Do they remind you that your own truth deserves to shine, unafraid? But their influence goes beyond identity. They have become role models for authenticity. They have shown the younger generation that you can dream boldly, love unapologetically, and still be accepted by the world. In an age where so many young people are struggling with self-doubt, Mile Apo's rise is a message. Your power is your authenticity. Isn't that a message we all need to hear, no matter who you are? To the young fans watching, do you see Mile and Apo as proof that it's possible to be authentic, to be yourself, and still be globally successful? And then there is their impact on the culture itself. Luxury brands like Dior and Piaget have not only dressed Mile and Apo, but have embraced them as global icons of elegance and authenticity. From the Cannes red carpet to the outfits on international campaigns, they are more than just the embodiment of stardom. They are presenting a new image of Thailand to the world. Think about it. Two men who started out with a script in Bangkok are now taking the spotlight on the world's most prestigious stages. If you could see them there, wouldn't you feel proud, regardless of your nationality? Doesn't that prove that true art, fueled by passion, transcends borders and belongs to all of us? And because pioneers are never alone, their success has paved the way for others. Englot, Freenbecky, Milk Love, and Rising Stars have all benefited from the doors Mile Apo has opened. Boys love is no longer a small genre, it's become a recognized cultural product. Think of it as a chain reaction. One story gets lit, and suddenly an entire industry lights up. Do you think these newcomers would have found such a big stage if Mile and Apo hadn't broken down those walls first? Or do you believe the world has been waiting for them all along, and they just came along at the perfect time? But perhaps the most profound impact is the community they've built. Mile Apo's fandom is not limited by geography or language. A fan in Brazil can share a meme that makes someone in Korea laugh. A fan in Turkey can write a poem that makes someone in Canada cry. These aren't just interactions, they're bridges. People who might never have spoken to each other now share stories, friendships, and safe spaces under Mile Apo's umbrella. And now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching the video from? And what does being a part of this global fandom mean to you personally? And here we are, reflecting on two men who redefined what it means to be an actor. They were more than just performers. They were cultural icons, trailblazers of authenticity, living proof that art has the power to change lives. From making boys love a global phenomenon to influencing fashion and connecting communities across borders, Mile Apo has made an indelible mark. But their story isn't over yet. The question now is, what lies ahead? Will their next projects push the envelope, or will they pass the torch to the new they've inspired? Whatever their path, one truth remains: Mile and Apo changed the world. And perhaps that's their greatest gift, not just to make us watch, but to make us believe. As we come to the end of this journey, one truth becomes clear. Mile and Apo are no longer just actors, nor are they just the romantic leads in the hit Thai Boys Love. They have gone beyond the screen and stage. Today, they have become cultural icons, symbols of love, diversity, and Thailand's new soft power, resonating around the world. Think about it. When you see them together, whether in the heat of Kinporsche, the haunting elegance of Man Swang, or the glossy glamour of Dior, what do you really see? You don't just see fame. You see a language that touches the human heart. You see two people whose connection evokes something deeper in each of us. Isn't it amazing how some stories feel larger than fiction, as if they belong not to a single country, but to the entire world? What Mile and Apo have created is more than just fame, it's resonance. Their story touches on emotions that audiences everywhere can relate to. Connection, identity, belonging, and most of all, it inspires hope. Hope that love in all its forms and in all its hearts has the right to exist openly, proudly, and unapologetically. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a performance that seemed to reflect your own journey, your longing, your search for acceptance? If so, then you know why Mile and Apo are so important. They have become mirrors for millions of people who have never seen their stories portrayed in such a profound, artistic, and beautiful way. But their influence goes far beyond the screen. Mile and Apo represent more than entertainment. They embody the soft power of a nation. Thailand has long fascinated the world with its cuisine, temples, and beaches. But through them, the country has brought something new: a story, a voice, a vision. They have proven to the global stage that Thai film and television can lead, not follow. And isn't it amazing that two actors with just one film have been able to shift the world's cultural compass toward Bangkok? Their influence now extends far beyond television. With Mon Swang, they have entered cinema, bringing Thai history and identity to life on the big screen. At Dior, they are not just guests, but ambassadors, feted among the world's elite. Yet beneath the glamour, what shines brightest is their sincerity. Even under the brightest lights, Mile and Apo never feel alienated. They remain genuine, with a genuine sense of the bond they share with their fans. Speaking of fans, look around. The community stretches from Bangkok to Berlin, Manila to Mexico City, Seoul to São Paulo. People gather online, in theaters, at concerts, all bound together by the same admiration. So let me ask you, where are you watching tonight? What are you to this constellation of stories? Share below, because your voice is a testament to how big this phenomenon has become. This is what makes truly extraordinary. Mile and Apo's impact extends far beyond their fan base. They have become catalysts for broader conversations about representation and inclusivity, helping to bring to light love stories that have been hidden or silenced. Through their work, audiences not only witness the characters on screen, but also see the possibility of a more open and empathetic world. And that, ultimately, is what Mile Apo is all about. Not just entertainment, but transformation. And now, looking back, we see them for what they are. Cultural icons. Icons of a new Thailand, confident enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with Hollywood and K-drama, proclaiming to the world that Thai stories matter. Icons of love, showing that on-screen connections can spark meaningful conversations beyond the stage. Icons of diversity, reminding us that presence can change lives, touch hearts, and open doors. So let me ask you one last time, how does Mile and Apo's journey make you feel? Does it inspire you? Does it surprise you? Does it give you hope for the stories we'll see in the future? Write your thoughts, because every comment contributes to the chorus, ensuring their story will resonate for years to come. And with that, we close not just a video, but a celebration of art as diplomacy, of love as a timeless language, of two men who started out as co-stars but grew into something much greater. A living testament to how culture can move the world. Mile and Apo's journey shows us that a love story on screen can reshape the way the world sees a culture, and perhaps the way we see ourselves. And as they continue to rise, one truth remains. Their light will only shine brighter, touch more hearts, and remind us that love, in all its forms, has the power to change the world. Thanks for watching. If this video inspired or touched your heart, please subscribe and become a part of our community. Your support will help us create more meaningful stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. We would love to hear from you, and what stories would you like us to explore next? See you in the next video. Stay inspired, and we will see you again in the next one. Unbelievable but true. Miss Grand meets rookie actress, and together they became the world's favorite girls love couple of 2025. It all started in the most unexpected way. In a world where the Thai entertainment industry moves at breakneck speed, where beauty queens rise and fall in a single turn of the crown, and young actors take the stage and disappear just as quickly, two names have turned that cycle around: Engfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin. On paper, they come from two very different worlds, two stories that never seemed to meet. But fate had other plans. Engfa Waraha, a name that has become indelibly etched into Thai pop culture since she was crowned Miss Grand Thailand 2022. Overnight, she has become a symbol of beauty, elegance, and ambition. But with the crown comes immense pressure, admiration from fans, but also scrutiny from critics who question whether she is really just a beauty queen. Will she really turn to entertainment, music, acting, and maintain her position among the veteran artists? For Engfa, the crown is not the end. It is the beginning of a battle. A battle to prove that she is more than just the aura of the crown, more than just the gorgeous dresses and the stage lights. And then Charlotte Austin appeared, younger, quieter, born into a family of mixed Thai and British descent. She did not come with the aura of fame, nor the advantage of a national title. Her beginnings were quite humble. Small roles, supporting roles, a face not yet fully known to the public. But what she lacked in fame, she had in her determination. She honed her craft, she surpassed her own limits, she had in her the quiet resilience of someone who knew she had something worth giving. Charlotte was not loud, not ostentatious, but her sincerity carried weight. She represents a new wave of Thai actresses. Down to earth, humble, not afraid to take risks even when luck is not on her side. Two women, two paths. One is a queen under the bright lights. The other is a warrior on the rise. Their worlds should not have met. Yet in 2023, they collided in a project that would change everything. Show Me Love the series. The casting announcement shocked fans. Engfa, Miss Grand, a beauty pageant star who has just entered the acting industry. And opposite her, Charlotte Austin, a relatively unknown newcomer. Can such a couple succeed? Can a beauty queen, beloved for her looks, handle the complexities of a love story? Can Charlotte, inexperienced and immature, stand her ground against such a powerful force? Doubts were raised, critics raised eyebrows, and even fans whispered their questions. But then the first day on set arrived. The cameras started rolling. The two women stood side by side, scripts in hand, the lights casting shadows on their faces. And something unexpected happened. What seemed like a scripted scene became something more. The way Engfa looked at Charlotte, calm, warm, almost protective. The way Charlotte reacted, a little nervous, but still engaging, her eyes softening, her voice calmer as if comforted by Engfa's presence. Behind the camera, the crew exchanged glances. Whispers. Did you feel it? That's not acting. From that moment, the atmosphere changed. From initial skepticism to curiosity. Soon, curiosity became fascination. Fans who had been skeptical now clung to the footage, rewatching it, splicing together moments, creating viral edits on TikTok and Twitter. The hashtag Englot was born, not just as a label, but as a statement. They asserted that these two had something real, something beyond the script, beyond the stage. And indeed, it is their differences that create the attraction between them. Engfa, confident, charismatic, the woman who has stood on the biggest stage with thousands of people watching. Charlotte, gentle, introspective, the actress who always puts a quiet sincerity into every line. Together, they become a pair of opposites, not conflicting but complementary. Fire and water, elegance and simplicity, experience and desire. Each fills the other's void, like puzzle pieces that seem impossible to fit together, but somehow, against all odds, are perfectly connected. It's no longer just acting. It's about timing, about fate. In an industry that often breeds chemistry, these are two women with a bond that cannot be faked. They enter the spotlight from different doors, but once they step on stage, their steps are in sync. For Engfa, Charlotte was more than just a co-star. She became proof that she could be more than just a beauty queen. And for Charlotte, Engfa was more than just a co-star. She was a mentor, a steadying presence that reminded her that her voice mattered, that she belonged. Why the world fell in love with them so quickly. Not because they were perfect, but because they were imperfect. They came from different places, carried different burdens, but when placed together, they reflected something very human. Connection. That quiet, undeniable spark that said, "This is someone who sees me." Sometimes, love and connection don't come from the same background or perfect similarities. They come from differences. Differences that complement, strengthen, and heal. For the LGBTQ+ community and young people around the world, Engfa and Charlotte's story is a reminder. Even if you come from opposite worlds, even if your journey seems impossible, love can find its way. And when it does, it becomes something rare, precious, and unforgettable. The first day on the set of Show Me Love should have been a normal start. Script in hand, camera ready, flashing lights overhead. It was the usual chaos of a TV drama. But for those behind the camera, what unfolded between Ingfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin was something else entirely. Their first scene didn't seem rehearsed, didn't seem forced. There was a spark, subtle but undeniable, that made the crew whisper to each other, "That's not acting, that's real." The way Ingfa looked at Charlotte wasn't just reciting lines. It was steady, as if she were silently saying, "You're safe here." And Charlotte, though a little nervous at first, responded with soft eyes, warm smiles, a presence that grew stronger with each scene. Their chemistry was so natural that the camera seemed to disappear. What should have been acting became connection. What should have been scripted emotion became something the crew could feel deep in their bones. Off camera, that energy was still there. During rehearsals, Charlotte would sometimes stumble over her lines, revealing her inexperience. But before frustration could set in, Ingfa would lean in and calmly whisper encouragement. "Take a deep breath. You can do it." It wasn't advice that came from duty but from concern. And each time, Charlotte would calm herself down, her voice clearer, her diction sharper, as if Ingfa's reassurance had given her the confidence she needed. In return, Charlotte gave Ingfa something equally precious. For a woman who had once held the title of Miss Grand Thailand, the burden of expectation was enormous. Wherever she went, she was the beauty queen, the one who was always scrutinized, praised for her looks, but often questioned for her inner depth. Yet Charlotte never treated her like a crown, a title, or a symbol. She treated her like a person. As the lights dimmed and the cameras stopped rolling, she laughed with Ingfa about the absurdities of the long takes, teased her about her mispronounced words, and listened to Ingfa quietly confess her exhaustion at having to carry an image that wasn't always hers. In those moments, Ingfa found something she hadn't felt in a long time: simplicity. The kind of sincerity that wasn't filtered through fame. Day by day, their relationship grew deeper, not through dramatic gestures, but through the smallest details. Lunch breaks became rituals, where they shared food from the same lunchbox, laughing at private jokes that no one else understood. Between takes, they lean in, whisper encouragement, rub shoulders, creating a haven of calm in an industry known for its competition and pressure. To outsiders, it might look like professional camaraderie. To those who pay closer attention, it's more than that. It's trust being built, brick by brick. And the audience noticed. Eagle-eyed fans recorded every affectionate glance, every gentle smile, every touch that seemed to last longer than necessary. Social media exploded with love song edits, hashtags flooded the timeline. #Anglot, Show Me Love Couple, Chemistry of the Year. The initial curiosity gradually turned into obsession. The audience was no longer watching just another drama. They were witnessing an authenticity that blurred the line between fiction and reality. Soon, entertainment channels began reporting on the phenomenon. Journalists wrote about the surprisingly natural chemistry between Miss Grand and the rookie actress. Bloggers debated whether it was just acting or something more. But no matter how you looked at it, one truth became increasingly hard to deny. Whatever Ingfa and Charlotte created together, it was genuine. It goes beyond the script, beyond the acting. It's two people finding comfort in each other. And the world can't take its eyes off it. For Ingfa, Charlotte becomes a fulcrum, someone who reminds her that she's more than a reflection of the spotlight, someone who treats her not as an icon but as a friend. For Charlotte, Ingfa becomes a guide, a steady hand that pulls her through the storm of insecurity and fear, showing her that she belongs on that stage. Together they find balance, one strong, one gentle, one seasoned, one fresh. And that balance is what makes their relationship so compelling. It's never about the show, never about pleasing the fans. It's about something much quieter. Two women recognizing themselves in each other. The beauty queen and the budding actress together discover that connection doesn't always require grand statements. Sometimes it's revealed in the smallest gestures. A look, a laugh, a whisper that soothes your heart. Love and connection don't need to be explained, justified, or forced. If the connection is real, people will feel it, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. For the LGBTQ+ community, Angfa and Charlotte's relationship is proof that love, in its purest form, is universal. It speaks the language of the heart and is a language that everyone can understand. And now I want to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching this story? Leave your country in the comments below, and let's see how far Angfa and Charlotte's journey has come. If Show Me Love was the spark that lit the fire, then Petrichor is the flame that proves its staying power. After the unexpected success of their first TV series together, the world was watching their every move, wondering if Angfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin could recapture that magic, or if fate was just a one-time thing. The answer came in 2024, when the two returned, side by side, in a film that would challenge them in new ways. Petrichor is more than just a love story. It is heavier, deeper, tinged with shades of longing and loss. It demands more from both actresses, more vulnerability, more trust, more willingness to step into raw and untamed emotions. For Angfa, it was a chance to shed her beauty queen image once and for all, to take on a role that required courage rather than glamour. For Charlotte, it was a moment to prove that she was more than just a rookie, nurtured by chemistry, but an actress capable of holding her own. And once again, when the cameras started rolling, the magic happened. Their on-screen relationship felt intimate, mature, touched by the tenderness that only comes when two people truly know each other. The quiet intimacy, hands touching in the rain, eyes meeting in a dimly lit room, left audiences breathless. Viewers around the world described watching Petrichor as invasive, as if they were getting a glimpse of something private, something real. But what really sets Petrichor apart is what happens off-screen. Factory tours, interviews, candid moments between takes. Angfa and Charlotte no longer look like two colleagues promoting a TV series. They look like a couple who find comfort in each other, who have the same rhythm in real life as they do on screen. At press conferences, Charlotte's shy laughter is always followed by Angfa's teasing. In behind-the-scenes footage, Angfa instinctively grabs Charlotte's hand, keeping her steady in front of flashing lights and microphones. Then came the fan meetings. First in Thailand, where tickets sold out in minutes, the crowd chanting "Anglot" long before the stage lights went out. But the real milestone came in 2025 in Brazil. Thousands of fans traveled for hours, even days, to see them. The atmosphere was electric. Chants, banners, rainbow flags flying in the air, fans sobbing as the two women took the stage together. And there, under the spotlight, Angfa and Charlotte did what they always do. They looked at each other with an unexplainable tenderness. For the audience, that was enough. For many, it was too much to imagine. The Brazilian press called them the ambassadors of Thai girls' love. The Thai media, witnessing the wave of international adoration, dubbed them the national couple. It was no longer just a fan trend. It was a cultural moment. Two women from two different backgrounds, in a country often dominated by boys' love, were changing the narrative. They were proving that girls' love could stand on the world stage, carrying the same passion, the same devotion. What makes it even more powerful are the small, unscripted gestures. During the fan meeting, Angfa gently adjusted Charlotte's microphone, drawing a gasp from the crowd. Charlotte, on the other hand, brushed Angfa's hair away from her face mid-conversation, a gesture so gentle that it went viral on social media within hours. These moments were not scripted, not staged. They were genuine, intimate moments, shared in front of thousands of people and preserved online for millions more to see. And fans, they understood. For many in the LGBTQ+ community, especially young people who rarely saw themselves represented authentically, Englot was more than a boat. They became a beacon, proof that love between two women could be celebrated, idolized, cheered on in packed stadiums. Fans wrote messages saying that Angfa and Charlotte had given them the courage to come out, that their chemistry had given them hope that love, true love, was possible for everyone. By 2025, the phenomenon had transcended drama, transcended entertainment. Angfa and Charlotte were no longer just actresses acting out a story. They were icons. Whether they ever confirmed the true nature of their relationship was irrelevant. The connection was there, clear for all to see, and it sparked something bigger than themselves. When same-sex love is met not with silence but with cheers, not with judgment but with celebration, it proves something timeless. That love, no matter where it takes root, always touches the heart. For the LGBTQ+ community and young people around the world, Angfa and Charlotte's journey is a reminder. You deserve to be seen, you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to be celebrated. But now I want to turn to you. How have you felt about following their journey, from Show Me Love to Petrichor and beyond? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and support the channel so we can continue to bring you heartwarming love stories from around the world. After the Petrichor lights dimmed and the echoes of the Brazilian fan meeting still lingered, a new chapter in the story of Angfa and Charlotte began. Not on stage, not in front of the cameras, but in the quiet, rustic corners of everyday life. For many fans, this was the moment Englot transformed from a fictional ship into something real, almost painful. Clips began to appear online, sometimes shared by the women themselves, sometimes recorded by attentive fans. A live stream showed them cooking together in a small kitchen, laughter ringing out as Charlotte playfully chided Angfa for adding too much seasoning. A candid Instagram story showed the two sitting side by side at the airport, Charlotte resting her head on Angfa's shoulder as they waited for a delayed flight. A fan photo of them strolling through Bangkok's night markets, their faces covered by masks but their hands clasped together. These were not scripted romantic gestures, but glimpses of genuine friendship. Of course, the press began to buzz. Headlines asked, are they more than co-stars? Entertainment exposed each clip, each glance, each smile that seemed to linger for too long. But throughout, Angfa and Charlotte never confirmed, never denied. They let the images speak, and perhaps that silence was more powerful than any statement they could have made. But for fans, that silence wasn't uncomfortable. It was liberating. Because what they saw in those spontaneous moments was more than enough. Angfa shielding Charlotte from the rain with his umbrella after a long day of filming. Charlotte gently massaged Angfa's shoulder backstage after hours of working in the spotlight. A glance exchanged at a crowded, private, but meaningful event. Fans saw more than colleagues. They saw soulmates weathering the storm of fame together. And then came the trips. Not official schedules, not press tours, just vacations. A beach vacation where photos of them laughing on the sand, wind blowing their hair, sunset falling behind. A quiet getaway to Japan where fans spotted them in a small cafe, sipping tea and sharing pastries. Each time, the fandom exploded, piecing together timelines, connecting the dots, celebrating the fact that even outside of work, they chose to be together. Even their professional commitments seemed to blend seamlessly with their personal bond. During the promotional circuit for Four Elements in 2025, behind-the-scenes videos captured them sharing inside jokes, whispering to each other between interviews, brushing shoulders in ways too natural to be choreographed. To fans, it was confirmation that what they had seen in Show Me Love and Petrichor wasn't just acting. It was an extension of something real, something nurtured off camera. And perhaps the most striking thing was how ordinary it all looked. Cooking, traveling, teasing, caring. In a world where celebrities often hide behind polished images, Ingfa and Charlotte let glimpses of their humanity shine through. They weren't afraid to look silly on live stream, or to admit when a recipe failed, or to laugh until their eyes watered. Those imperfections made them relatable. And in being relatable, they became more beloved than ever. For the LGBTQ+ community, these moments mattered deeply. Representation isn't only about seeing queer love in movies or dramas, it's about seeing it in life. In the shared meals, the quiet comforts, the ordinary tenderness of two women simply existing together. Every time Englot appeared in those slices of life, they reminded fans around the world that love doesn't always need to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes, it's in the way someone remembers your favorite snack, or shields you from a sudden downpour, or stays by your side when the spotlight fades. And that is what made them unforgettable. Not just as actresses, not just as a ship, but as two human beings who, in the chaos of fame and expectation, managed to find something rare and steady in each other. Love doesn't always need grand declarations or public confirmations. Sometimes the quiet acts of care, the umbrella in the rain, the shared laughter in a kitchen, the hand held in a crowded street, say more than words ever could. For the LGBTQ+ community, Ingfa and Charlotte's everyday moments are proof that tenderness itself is a powerful form of love. It teaches us that even in simplicity, there is strength, and in authenticity, there is hope. From the quiet gentleness of everyday life, we enter a year that will redefine everything for Ingfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin. If 2023 brought the spark of Show Me Love, and 2024 fanned the flames with Petrichor, then 2025 came like a tidal wave, unstoppable, undeniable, and spreading across the globe. The announcement of Four Elements sent shockwaves through the fan community. A new series, bigger in scale, richer in story, and shouldering the expectations of millions of fans around the world. Could Englot take on another role and once again bring back the chemistry that made them legendary? The answer, once again, is yes. On screen, they move like two people who have known each other their whole lives, playing characters that balance strength and vulnerability, passion and restraint. Their relationship was equally captivating off-screen. Press trips filled with furtive glances, shared laughter, and small gestures that fans learned to recognize as signs of something deeper. But Four Elements was more than just a TV show. It became a cultural event. TikTok and YouTube were flooded with edits of their most intimate scenes. Fan-made compilations of Englot's sweetest moments set to popular love songs. Hashtags trended worldwide within hours of each episode's release. And it wasn't just Thailand. Viewers in Japan, the Philippines, Brazil, the United States, and Europe responded. Subtitles appeared overnight in dozens of languages, a testament to a global demand that couldn't be ignored. By mid-2025, Ingfa and Charlotte were more than just actors, they were icons. The awards show confirmed what fans already knew. They swept categories like Couple of the Year, Chemistry of the Year, and Best GL Couple. Their acceptance speeches, often humble and full of gratitude, only added to their charisma. They thanked not only the producers and fans, but each other. Ingfa looked at Charlotte with a look of gentle pride. Charlotte smiled back with an almost shy affection. For the audience, The event felt more like watching two people reflect on how far they've come together than an awards show. And then there was fashion. In 2025, the two women stepped boldly into spaces often reserved for the biggest names in global entertainment. Angfa, radiant at international fashion weeks, turned heads in Valentino gowns and became a muse for designers who saw her not only as a beauty queen, but as an artist in her own right. Charlotte, elegant in Chanel and L'Oreal campaigns, established herself as a modern ambassador of style, quiet, graceful, yet impossible to overlook. Together, their presence on red carpets and magazine covers felt revolutionary. Two women, arm in arm, celebrated not just for their talent, but for the authenticity of their bond. Everywhere they went, fans followed. Airport arrivals looked like concerts, crowds chanting "Englot" in unison, waving flags, holding handmade banners. In São Paulo, in Manila, in Tokyo, even in New York City, the reaction was the same. Love. Pure, unfiltered love. Reporters called them the global face of girls' love. Headlines declared Angfa and Charlotte break borders, GL goes worldwide. For the first time, it wasn't just about BL dominating international fandoms. GL had its queens, and their names were Angfa and Charlotte. What made 2025 so extraordinary wasn't only the projects, the awards, or the fashion deals. It was the way their story resonated across cultures. In every fan meeting, there were tears, people thanking them for showing a love that mirrored their own. In every viral clip, there were comments in dozens of languages, all saying the same thing. This is what love looks like. And through it all, Angfa and Charlotte remained grounded. They didn't shout their relationship status from rooftops. They didn't bend under media speculation. They simply kept showing up for their craft, for their fans, and most importantly, for each other. Theirs was a love, or at the very least a bond, that didn't need labels. It was enough for the world to see and to celebrate. When same-sex love appears in art and grows into a global trend, it proves that LGBTQ+ is no longer the silent minority. It is a movement, a voice, a presence that cannot be erased. Angfa and Charlotte's 2025 reminds us all, authenticity has power, representation has impact, and love, real, unapologetic love, is something to be proud of. For young people everywhere, their journey is an invitation to live honestly, to step into the light, and to claim the love they deserve. When people look back on the rise of Angfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin, they won't just remember the shows, the fashion, or the viral clips. They'll remember how it felt. They'll remember how a beauty queen and a young actress turned an industry upside down. Not with noise, but with sincerity. Not with scandals, but with quiet faith. Englot has never been just a ship. It's been a mirror. In Show Me Love, fans first caught a spark that was so natural it was impossible to ignore. In Petrichor, they saw that spark ignite into a flame, mature, steady, and vulnerable. And when Four Elements debuts in 2025, the question of whether girls' love can succeed is no longer a question. It's proof. Proof that two women can carry a global phenomenon on their shoulders. Proof that representation can extend beyond boys' love and find equal dedication. What sets them apart is how little they try to promote themselves as a couple. They don't post staged photo shoots to spread rumors. They don't sit down with magazines to write juicy stories for the tabloids. Instead, they let the moments speak for themselves. Angfa adjusting Charlotte's mic at a fan meeting. Charlotte laughing until she cries at Angfa's teasing during an interview. The two of them eating together in an airport lounge while cameras roll from afar. These moments aren't staged. They're real. And in that reality, they're unforgettable. The world took notice. The media began calling them the quiet revolutionaries of GL Thailand. Scholars point to their rise as evidence of a shifting cultural norm, where audiences are finally ready to embrace stories about women loving women with the same fervor as BL. And in the LGBTQ+ community, their impact is deeply personal. Fans from all over, Brazil, Japan, the Philippines, Europe, the United States, have shared letters and posts about how untold gave them courage. Courage to come out. Courage to believe their love story was real. Courage to hold hands in public, even for a few seconds, because if Engfa and Charlotte can be celebrated, then maybe they can too. But the difference between untold and so many other celebrity couples is that their legacy will never depend on rumors. It doesn't matter whether they ever confirm or deny anything about their relationship. What matters is the connection they showed to the world. In the way Charlotte quietly rested her head on Engfa's shoulder. In the way Engfa shielded Charlotte from the camera flashes. In the way they looked at each other as if no one else existed. These small but profound gestures became the heart of the story. This is what made untold different. They were more than just a couple on screen. They represented the possibility of love in its purest form. Love that didn't ask for permission, that didn't beg for validation, that didn't need explanation. In an industry full of spectacle, their authenticity became the strongest statement. Their difference was also contagious. They blurred the line between fiction and reality so seamlessly that fans no longer tried to differentiate the two. Show Me Love was fiction. Petrichor was art. Four Elements was another chapter. But what the audience takes away isn't the plot. It's the energy between these two women. It's the awareness that, somewhere out there, this connection exists beyond the frame. As a cultural force, untold changed the way girls' love was perceived around the world. It was no longer a niche, no longer marginal, no longer too risky. Instead, it became something celebrated, commercial, and inspirational. Their success opened the door for other queer film projects, paving the way for more actresses, more stories, more representation. That is their true legacy. Not just what they achieved for themselves, but what they enabled for those who came after them. The most beautiful thing about their story, however, is that it is not over. It continues every time they step on set, every time they walk the red carpet together, every time they laugh together on live stream. And it lives on in the hearts of millions of people who carry their example into their own lives. Whether it's daring to say love, daring to live authentically, or daring to believe that their story is worth telling too. Love, real, honest, unfiltered love, is revolutionary. Untold showed the world that same-sex love doesn't need to be defended or justified. It simply exists. And in its existence, it changes lives. Their difference is strength, their silence is statement, and their bond is legacy. So I leave you with this question. Do you believe Engfa and Charlotte deserve to be the faces of girls' love around the world? And if so, which other couples would you like us to honor here? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because together we don't just tell the story, we keep this revolution alive. From the screen to real life, Engfa and Charlotte proved that love, real love, can inspire change. Now it's your turn. Did their story move you? Which country are you tuning in from? Drop your answers below, and let's celebrate just how far the untold phenomenon has traveled together. Nanon broke apart, the shocking split that stunned the world. They once had it all. Fame, love, and millions of fans who believed their bond could never be broken. But then, everything suddenly collapsed, leaving behind rumors, unanswered questions, and a cultural earthquake felt across the globe. What really happened? Stay with me until the very end of this video, because only then will you discover the truth behind their unexpected ending, and why their story still touches millions of hearts today. When it comes to cultural waves in modern entertainment, Few stories are as moving as the rise of Om Pawat and Nanon Korapat. These two young actors, both nurtured under the wings of GMM TV, have not only become co-stars but also the heartbeats of a generation of fans around the world. But how did it all begin? And why did their story capture the world's attention? Today, let's go back in time and explore the brilliant beginnings of their journeys before the events that would later shake their heel. Om Pawat, with his charismatic looks and powerful charisma, was starting to build a reputation as a versatile actor. On the other hand, Nanon Korapat, known for his emotional depth and quiet power on screen, was recognized as a rising star. Individually, they were impressive, but together, they became something else entirely. And that's where the magic of Bad Buddy comes in. Are you one of the fans who got to know them through Bad Buddy? Or have you been following their individual careers long before they met? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know where your journey with Om and Nanon really began. Bad Buddy is more than just a drama. It's a spark that set off a cultural wave. At its heart is the story of two neighbors turned rivals, pushed into conflict by family expectations, only to discover the undeniable attraction between them. The writing was witty and heartfelt, the family drama felt real, and the romance grew naturally. But the element that truly captivated viewers was the chemistry of Om and Nanon. Their connection felt so effortless that fans around the world began asking, is this acting or something deeper? The show's explosion of popularity wasn't accidental. It came at a moment when the world craved hope and lightness, yet still longed for depth. For Thai viewers, the drama reflected familiar tensions between family duty and personal happiness. For international fans, it became a rare example of portrayed with equality, respect, and authenticity. Add to that the timing, when online communities were ready to amplify stories beyond borders, and Bad Buddy became a global conversation rather than just a local success. So let me ask you, what was the moment that drew you in completely? Was it the playful rivalry that made you smile, or the quiet scenes where a single glance said more than words ever could? Share your first unforgettable Bad Buddy memory. I'd love to know how their story first captured you. As the show grew in popularity, it became more than just a hit. It became a phenomenon. Twitter trends exploded around the world every time a new episode dropped. Fan edits flooded YouTube and TikTok. International fan meetings sold out in minutes, proving that this wasn't just a Thai drama, but a global movement. And at the center of it all were Om and Nanon, two young men who suddenly found themselves carrying the hopes, dreams, and admiration of millions. Awards soon followed, cementing their influence. From winning Best Couple at the Kaz Awards to the WeTV Awards, and even being recognized at the Asian Content Awards, Om and Nanon were more than just names on a trophy. They represented a shift in how love stories were told and celebrated. Each award was more than just acting recognition. It's a recognition of the emotions their characters have evoked in audiences around the world. Imagine them strutting down the red carpet, camera flashes illuminating their smiles, fans cheering with banners held high. Imagine them standing side by side at a fan meeting, their voices drowned out by thousands chanting their names in unison. These aren't just moments of fame. They're moments of connection where the line between actor and audience seems to blur. If you were part of that wave, how would you feel watching their rise? Would you feel proud, excited, moved, or even protective of their journey? Share your thoughts below, because stories like these aren't just about the stars. They're about us, the fans, who carry memories of those moments in our lives. They weren't just a BL couple. They were a cultural phenomenon. This quote resonates throughout the fandom, capturing exactly what made their journey so extraordinary. From the spotlight to the love of millions, the beginning of their story is a reminder of how two people, with the right story at the right time, can ignite a flame that burns far beyond borders. And this is just the beginning, because after a rise comes a test, a turning point that determines whether we'll grow stronger or whether it will begin to fade. In the next installment, we'll walk through the glory and into the challenges that will shape the surprising conclusion of their journey. So stay tuned, because this journey has just begun. From Bangkok to Brazil, their names echoed across the world. What started as a Thai drama quickly became a global sensation, sparking conversations in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. At the peak of their journey, Om and Nanon were no longer just actors. They had become cultural ambassadors whose influence crossed borders, languages, and generations. Bad Buddy was never mere fan service. It was an artistic statement that challenged stereotypes and set new expectations. Western media began to notice. Teen Vogue even listed it among the best boys' love dramas of all time, a rare recognition for Thai actors in international spaces. This wasn't just fame, it was a cultural shift. Each region embraced them in unique ways. In the Philippines, fan meetings felt like concerts with deafening cheers. In Japan, devoted viewers analyzed every gesture on blogs and forums. In South Korea, a market known for high standards, the duo was warmly welcomed. Across Latin America, murals and viewing parties turned neighborhoods into celebrations. Even Europe joined in, with fan clubs in Spain, Italy, and the UK creating cross-border communities. Two actors had sparked a chorus of voices worldwide. And here's where you come in. Where are you watching from today? Asia, Europe, maybe Latin America? Share your journey in the comments, because every fan adds a unique piece to this global puzzle. What made their popularity different was the loyalty of their fan base. This wasn't a passing trend. Online spaces became safe havens where people shared how Om and Nanon's story touched something deep inside them. Many LGBTQ+ fans revealed that for the first time they felt truly seen, for who they are, openly and beautifully. That's the real power of representation. Think about it. Has a piece of art ever made you feel truly understood? That's what Om and Nanon achieved. Their stories were never just about labels. They were about love, conflict, reconciliation, universal themes anyone could relate to. And their chemistry, so natural and effortless, made those themes come alive. That's why their fame went beyond numbers and hashtags. They proved that Thai entertainment could stand alongside Korean dramas, Hollywood romances, and Spanish soap operas. When a story is sincere, boundaries vanish. Isn't it fascinating that two young actors could challenge an entire industry and redefine global entertainment? As their influence grew, so did the sense of responsibility they carried. It wasn't just the cheers of their fans, it was the lives touched, the perspectives changed, and the doors opened for future generations of creators. For LGBTQ+ youth, Om and Nanon weren't just actors on screen. They were proof that love stories like theirs deserved to be heard. That message was important. And think about it. When hashtags trended around the world, it wasn't just about fame, it was about connection. Fans from different continents who had never met before started interacting, exchanging languages, memes, and even cultural traditions. Friendships and communities blossomed because two actors told an authentic story. Isn't it amazing how entertainment can cross oceans and bridge distances? Some fans travel thousands of miles just to attend fan meetings. In Manila, the cheers shook the stadium. In Japan, fans lined up for hours, holding banners in Thai, English, and Japanese. And in Latin America, street festivals included special screenings of their shows. If you've ever been to a fan event like this, you know the power of that collective energy. So tell me, have you ever attended one or even dreamed of one? So here's a thought. If representation in the media can change how people see themselves, what other stories does the world need to hear? Share yours below. I'd love to hear from all over the world. From Bangkok to Brazil, from Tokyo to Toronto, the story of Om and Nanon goes beyond headlines and trends. It lives on in the hearts of those who feel seen through them. That's the true power of cultural impact. But as with any story that shines brightly, the first signs of cracks soon appear. The whispers began to spread. Once hailed as Thailand's most iconic boys' love couple, Om and Nanon suddenly became the center of attention for both the media and fans. Their story was once filled with hearty laughs, great chemistry, and a strong bond. But now, subtle changes began to pique curiosity. Changes that were too obvious to ignore. Had the golden couple reached a crossroads? Or was this just another chapter in their unexpected journey? At first, the signs seemed subtle. They were less likely to appear together at public events. Red carpets, where one person would shine alone while the other was nowhere to be seen. Press interviews that were once filled with jokes now took on a more somber tone, an emptiness that fans could hardly put into words. And as their new projects were announced, each with either Om or Nanon, but not both, the whispers grew louder. Was GMMTV deliberately trying to split them up, giving them separate paths to take? Or was it simply the natural maturation of two rising stars? What do you think? Does a separation on projects always mean a separation in real life? Or can feelings overcome the pressure of fame? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your views. Then the rumors started. Several media outlets started buzzing, and one name kept popping up, a Thai actress from the hit series Boys Over Flowers. Was she really the so-called third person who had entered their orbit? To some tabloids, she was seen as a distraction. To others, she was just a professional colleague. But as every fan knows, once a rumor gets out, it spreads faster than the truth. It's an interesting twist. Will the perfect couple be shaken by the appearance of a charming outsider? Or is it all just noise created to stir things up? Let me ask you, when it comes to rumors about your favorite celebrity, how do you react? Do you brush them off, defend them fiercely, or quietly wonder if there's some truth to it? Beyond the headlines, subtle cracks appear. At fan meetings, the playful handshakes and teasing touches that once defined their relationship seem to disappear. Their eyes, once locked so naturally, are now distant. Is it fatigue, or is an invisible wall building between them? A few photos on social media have quietly disappeared, leaving fans confused. Is this a move by the management to reshape their image, or is it the couple's own choice to pave the way for new adventures? Every little detail has sparked speculation, signs that could be real or could be imagined. Thai media has also hinted at a promise that never came true. Some believe that the two had vowed to be together for 5 years, but by the 4th year their paths had begun to diverge. But is this the truth, or just a layer of fiction fabricated by fans? Meanwhile, GMMTV's silence has fueled speculation. When asked directly, the company only replied, they are busy with their own projects. Neither denying nor confirming, just letting the imagination run wild. Not all hope is lost. One fan swears they saw Om and Nanon laughing quietly backstage, as if nothing had changed. However, the clip was quickly deleted. Does it reveal too much truth? Or nothing at all? Do you believe fan stories about intimate moments, or are they shaped more by desire than reality? In Nanon's latest music video, a door closes as the lights dim, a haunting image that fans now consider iconic. At the same time, Om shared a post from the song, captioned, "Not all journeys have passengers." Was it a coincidence or a hidden confession? Since then, fans have been every lyric, every post, every subtle detail, looking for clues. For Om, the roar of engines and the excitement of motorsports are more than just a hobby. They're a bold statement of independence. For Nanon, music and film have opened doors for vulnerability and self-expression. Both journeys reflect growth and maturity. Yet with each step they take on separate paths, it feels like the strings that once bound them together are slowly unraveling. By this point, the fan community has become vibrant. Some believe the separation is healthy, allowing both to blossom separately. Others fear that too much distance will dull the magic that has drawn millions. And here's the question. If you were their manager, would you preserve their relationship as a couple or push them toward independence? Think about it. When two stars shine so brightly, can the world accept them apart? In the glow of fame, even the smallest silence becomes a crack, each one magnified. But legends are never written in a single act, they span chapters. Alone, Om and Nanon shine so brightly, but together they create something unforgettable. The question is, can both truths coexist? For longtime fans, each new title carries a heavy weight. Is this the end of Thailand's most beloved boys' love couple? The words ring out like a haunting refrain. Some cling to hope, others brace for a breakup. But endings aren't always tragic. Sometimes they're turning points, leading to something deeper and more unexpected. As we move forward, ask yourself, is this the beginning of the end, the birth of a new chapter for Om and Nanon? Before we go any further, tell me, where are you watching today? And what emotions are running through you as this story unfolds? Share your feelings, because this is not just their journey, it is also ours, who have witnessed their rise, their struggles, and perhaps their rebirth. Follow me, because what comes next may surprise you. In 2024, the unthinkable became reality. The legendary couple was no more. For nearly a decade, Om and Nanon were more than just actors. They were storytellers for a generation. Every project they took part in carried more than just lines on a script. It carried the dreams of millions of people who saw themselves in their laughter, struggles, and triumphs. But in July 2024, the storm subsided when GMMTV announced that Om Nanon would no longer be an official on-screen couple. It was a headline that stopped time. The world stopped surfing for a moment, then exploded. Bangkok mourned, Manila argued, Los Angeles relived memories, and São Paulo held vigils for fans. Social media didn't just react, it exploded. Hashtags flooded every corner of the digital universe. This wasn't just celebrity news, it was a cultural earthquake. Where are you watching this from? Whether you're in Asia, America, or anywhere else, I want you to share in the comments. This story is global, and your voice is part of that map. Tell me, did you cry, stay silent, or immediately search for answers when you first heard the news? Because make no mistake, this isn't just an announcement, it's a shared grief. For so many people, Om Nanon is more than background entertainment. It's comfort on sleepless nights, joy on lonely afternoons, hope when the world turns cold. When the news hit, it felt like a part of that refuge was gone. Some still clung to hope. Maybe they'll reunite, maybe this isn't forever, while others whispered acceptance. They deserve to grow, to dream, to take risks. Have you ever had to let go of something that defined you? Something that wasn't yours to hold on to, but you still loved? That bittersweet grief is what millions of fans carried into 2024. It wasn't a betrayal. It was life reminding us that even legends must move forward. The ripple effect was unlike anything the industry had ever seen. Tributes climbed the YouTube charts. Entire fan forums have become digital memorials to their greatest moments. International media outlets have covered the story as if it were the end of an era. Some fans have even organized charity events in their names, channeling their grief into action, proving that what Om and Nanon built was bigger than themselves, a movement of kindness, creativity, and community. Think about it. Do endings always mean loss? Or Can they mark a turning point, a doorway to something greater? Share your thoughts below. Is this moment a tragedy or the beginning of a rebirth? Because really, a breakup isn't the severing of a bond, it's a turning. Om is charting a path that demands his own individuality. Nanon is seeking roles that will take his art even further. Admiring them means not only loving their togetherness, but also respecting their courage in walking separate paths. And isn't that the purest form of support? Cheering for someone even when their story no longer completely matches our own? The silence that followed was heavy, almost unbearable. Fans clung to old clips, searching for that spark again. "We never thought it would end like this" became the theme song of the moment. But perhaps that's what makes these stories unforgettable. They refuse to follow predictable scripts. They fall apart, and in the end, they leave us forever changed. Even now, whispers of reunions and surprise cameos keep the flame of hope alive. Because hope is tenacious. It lingers, it imagines, it believes. And perhaps that is the gift hidden in this ending, a reminder of their importance. That is why fans still dream. After all, legends don't fade, they always change. As the curtain falls, one truth rings louder than anything else. Om and Nanon redefined storytelling. They redefined what it means to believe in chemistry on screen, and most of all, they changed us. Their impact will not be measured by the ending, but by the gift they left behind. So wherever you are tonight, remember this. The story may be over, but its lives on. And in the midst of, Om and Nanon remain, not just actors, not just a couple, but living proof that true connections can transcend boundaries, endure, and become eternal. Tell me in the comments, what's a moment from Om Nanon that you'll never forget? Was it a smile, a line, a scene, or simply the feeling they made you feel? Share, because your memories are part of what they left behind. The chapter may have ended, but the story remains, and in many ways, it belongs to all of us. And maybe, just maybe, this ending isn't really an end at all, but the spark of something greater. From here, we can begin to see the lessons their journeys left behind. As we look back on the journey of Om and Nanon, we suddenly realize something incredibly powerful. Nothing lasts forever. Even the brightest flames, the ones that have lit up screens and the hearts of millions, eventually burn out. But does it mean oblivion? Or does it mean transformation into something deeper, more meaningful? That's the question I want to explore with you today. Think about it. We tend to believe that our favorite couples, our favorite stories, are preserved in time, intact and eternal. But reality operates at its own pace. For Om and Nanon, stepping away from their iconic on-screen relationship is never a failure. It's a step toward maturity. They remind us that true maturity often requires us to leave behind what feels safe and familiar. So what do you think? Does maturity require stepping into the unknown? Or can we still grow while still holding on to the past? There's a beautiful irony to their story. While their on-screen romance ended, their real-life friendship remained strong. Isn't that something to be treasured? We often confuse endings with breakups or silences with separations. But in fact, Om and Nanon remind us that relationships built on respect and trust can outlast scripts, roles, and even fan expectations. Let me ask you this, what's more precious to you? A short but brilliant love story, or a friendship that endures through the years? And this is where we as fans need to reflect. Why do we love a couple? Is it just the chemistry on screen, the spark in their eyes? Or is it the inspiration they leave behind? The courage, the creativity, the proof that authenticity connects us more deeply than acting? When you think of your favorite couples, what inspires you more? The characters they play, or who they are in real life? Leave your answer in the comments, because your perspective is part of what makes this story come to life. Imagine how different our journey as fans would be if we only held on to what is eternal. In our pursuit of permanence, we miss the beauty of what is fleeting, the spark that burns once but remains etched in our memories. Aren't the most cherished moments often the ones that can never be relived? Tell me, do you cherish the fleeting or the eternal more? Om and Nanon's story teaches us not to fear endings, because endings don't erase what came before. They frame it, they give it meaning, they highlight its value. Just as a song wouldn't be as good without its final notes, their journey wouldn't be as profound without its ending. And in that way, their ending isn't a loss, it's a reminder. A reminder that love, growth, and connection come in many forms, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is move forward. Take a moment and think about your life. Have you ever clung to something so tightly that you feared letting it go would erase its meaning, only to find that once released, the memory was even more vivid? That was the gift of Om and Nanon. Their time together on screen may have come to an end in some form, but lives on in our hearts. Do you believe that sometimes memories become even more vivid long after the moment has passed? Another point we can't ignore is the courage it takes to go beyond what has made you famous. Om and Nanon could have easily stayed in their comfort zone, repeating what worked. Instead, they chose to pursue personal growth. Isn't that a lesson for all of us? Don't be afraid to step away from the familiar, even if it means risking uncertainty. Have you ever had to step outside your comfort zone? And did it change you for the better? And then there's the friendship. Think about how rare it is to see two people overcome fame, expectations, and public pressure, yet still maintain respect and closeness. That's a victory in itself. Their friendship is proof that not everything has to end in separation. In fact, sometimes the strongest relationships evolve into something more stable, more solid. Do you think true friendships can outlast the spotlight? For us fans, what matters most is how we choose to love. We can love a couple for their on-screen presence, yes. But more than that, we can celebrate the values they embody. The laughter they bring, the courage they show, the way they inspire countless young people to believe in themselves. Isn't that worth preserving? So the next time you're faced with an ending, whether of a friendship, a chapter, or even a dream, remember this. An ending is never a failure. It's often a beginning in disguise, waiting to be revealed. And like Om and Nanon, your story may just be discovering its deeper meaning. Where are you watching today? And how are you feeling right now as we reflect on these lessons together? Share with us, because your voice makes this community stronger. And stay with me, because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into how their influence shaped not just their fans, but a generation. When we look back on Om and Nanon's unforgettable journey, what truly stands out is not the fame or even the shocking ending. What remains etched in the hearts of millions is the impact, the lessons, the emotions, and the cultural shifts they helped spark. Their story became more than entertainment. It became a mirror of growth, acceptance, and change, both on screen and off. For the fandom as a whole, the lesson was profound. Following their journey taught fans to value the path, not just the outcome. Along the way, people learned to celebrate small victories, the smiles, the subtle gestures, the milestones, rather than clinging only to the ending. It wasn't just about Om and Nanon. It was a reminder for all of us about how to live, how to let go, and how to treasure fleeting beauty. And those fleeting moments mattered. Every smile, every glance, every scene carried its own magic. Online, countless fans have shared that watching Om and Nanon gave them the strength to face personal hardships. Some found courage, others found comfort, and many realized that even stories that don't last forever can leave marks that never fade. Think about your own life. What brief but unforgettable moments still shine brightly for you? For the LGBTQ+ community, their impact went even deeper. Bad Buddy and the undeniable bond between Ohm and Nanon became more than a drama. It became an icon. It was validation, proof that same-sex love could be portrayed honestly, tenderly, and with a humanity that transcended prejudice. For many viewers, it was the first time they saw themselves reflected on screen without shame. The stories poured in. A teenager in Bangkok confessed that he finally felt less alone. A young woman in a small Latin American town wrote that seeing them gave her the reassurance that her feelings were real. And across Europe, fans shared one simple message: I finally feel understood. That is the true power of storytelling. How two actors breathing life into characters can reach across borders, languages, and cultures, reminding us that love, in all its forms, belongs to everyone. When you first witnessed their chemistry, what was your reaction? Were you surprised that their love had such a resonant effect that transcended borders, languages, cultures? Was it fascinating that a single story could create ripples that touched hearts from Asia, Europe to America? And more than that, what emotions did it evoke in you? Was it joy, hope, or even a sense of belonging that you had never felt before? Before Ohm and Nanon, many BL series in Thailand leaned heavily on fan service, fun and thrilling, but often short-lived. Their performances changed that. With authentic, layered, and deeply human acting, they set a new bar not only for themselves, but for the Thai industry as a whole. Suddenly, BL wasn't just popular culture. It was serious storytelling. Art that audiences and critics alike began to take seriously. That shift didn't stop in Thailand. Across Asia and even in Western markets, producers began rethinking what BL could be. No longer a niche, it became part of mainstream pop culture. Fans weren't only watching for excitement, they wanted sincerity, depth, and representation. Ohm and Nanon proved that when you tell stories with honesty, they resonate with people in Tokyo, Manila, São Paulo, and Madrid alike. And this is where their true legacy lies. Beyond the awards, beyond the fandom, Ohm and Nanon showed an entire generation that authentic stories matter. They inspired creators to dream bolder, gave LGBTQ+ viewers validation, and proved that Thai entertainment could stand tall on the global stage. Their names aren't just attached to one drama. They're etched into the cultural memory of modern entertainment as changemakers whose influence will echo for years to come. When you think about what do you cherish most? Is it the personal growth they inspired in their fans? The acceptance they brought to countless LGBTQ+ people? Or the transformation they sparked across the entertainment industry? Your answer may be different than the person next to you. And that's the beauty of it. A true means different things to different people, but it connects us all in a common story. Because in the end, what truly endures is not how a story ends, but how deeply it touches lives. And that's why this story isn't over. It lives on in every fan who smiles at a memory, in every LGBTQ+ individual who feels seen, and in every bold new project inspired by the path they took. Ohm Nanon may no longer be a couple, but their story will forever resonate in the hearts of millions. And perhaps that's the best ending of all, an ending that never really ends. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe and support our channel. See you in the next